Good afternoon. A few days ago I interviewed a few university students who came to me to ask me for help with a university project, and you are going to hear part of the conversation I had with them, but before that I'd like to make a few comments. I have encountered this situation hundreds of times in Thailand, where university students come to ask foreigners questions, supposedly to help them with their English and also maybe to do some research into culture. So when these students came to me a few days ago, they said they wanted to ask me a few questions. And the questions are the same as every other time students have spoken to me. Questions like, what do you like about Thailand? What's your favorite food? Do you like the weather? Where are you planning to go, or where have you been? To be honest, the questions are always boring, and usually the students will be reading from a script, meaning they have previously written down the questions and they then read from this when they are speaking with the foreigner or tourist. Then when the foreigner answers, they don't usually follow up with any more questions. So there is almost no opportunity here to practice English. Most of the time the students don't understand the replies of the foreigners, so even if they did want to continue a conversation, they would have difficulty. The knowledge they gain about culture and the experiences of tourists is always predictable. You can guess the answers even before you hear them. So, as I have said many times before, this activity is almost a total waste of time for students, and I really have difficulty understanding why the universities continue with it. But these students I found quite pleasurable to spend some time with, so after the interview we sat down for maybe half an hour and I gave them an impromptu English lesson. Unfortunately, this was not very successful because they were almost unable to involve themselves in my conversation. Even the simplest words and expressions they had difficulty understanding. This is despite the fact that they were all English majors studying English for communication. They were even studying translation and traditional texts like Shakespeare, but they had very little ability to engage in simple conversation. I could see they had difficulty understanding even simple sentences and even greater difficulty responding. I told them it was a waste of time studying stuff like Shakespeare because firstly the language is very out of date, and secondly I really don't think that they would understand much of it. It would be far more effective for them to focus on some modern language. For example, what you might hear in some BBC learning podcasts on the internet, or even just my YouTube audios. I think students must always remember that the main function of language is to communicate through speech, speaking and listening. Reading and writing are just a way of representing the spoken language in a form which can be stored and communicated in other ways. It is a real shame that these students, all around the age of 20 or 21, had been learning English since they were in kindergarten, yet were unable to have a simple conversation in English. I know what happens in the classroom when they are studying. The teacher will be speaking mostly in Thai. They will be reading, doing grammar exercises, and with 40 or more students in the classroom, nobody will be daring to speak. And even if they do, it will probably be in Thai. So it is an extremely ineffective way to learn a language. The techniques used in Thai schools and universities should be abandoned once children have basic English, maybe at the age of 7 or 8. And after that, they should only use English in the classroom and focus on speaking and listening. But I have said this a million times, so I don't suppose this time is going to make any difference. However, the students were very pleasant and I enjoyed spending some time with them, despite the frustration of not being able to communicate very well in English. And of course I wish them all the luck in the future. They all intend to be English teachers when they graduate, and I hope that they will spend a lot more time practicing their speaking and listening. So now let's listen to the talk I had with them. Good morning. Your name is Yort, is that correct?
Yes, I'm Yort.
How old are you, Yort?
20 years old.
And what university are you from?
I'm from Sonsunantha Rajapat University.
Can you tell me what you are studying?
I'm studying in the Faculty of Education, major in English.
What year are you in?
Now I'm in second year student.
Tell me why you like to study education.
My parents are teacher, and since I was a kid, and that inspired me to be a teacher in the future.
Oh, you have very good English. You use the word inspired. That's quite a difficult word for Thai people. How do you say inspired in Thai?
แรงบันดาลใจ
Correct. I think your Thai is good as well as your English. So your parents inspired you to be a teacher?
Yes, I dare say my family are teacher family. My grandmom, grandpa, they all were teacher.
So you can say that teaching is in your blood.
Yes.
How do you say that in Thai? Teaching is in your blood.
การสอนอยู่ในสายเลือด
อยู่ในสายเลือด
ของผม
So when you graduate, where will you work?
I'll be working here in my hometown in Nonthaburi, nearby Bangkok.
Oh, Nonthaburi. I know Nonthaburi. I used to go there sometimes.
Where did you go?
I used to go to Wat Chalerm Prakiat.
Oh.
It has a nice park there and a beautiful temple. So it was a nice place to go to sometimes. And tell me, what do you like to do in your free time?
In my free time, I like listening to music and reading novels. And going to theater.
Are you reading a novel at the moment?
No. Oh yes. A little bit.
You are. Can you tell me about the novel you are reading now?
It's a series. It's called The Series of Unfortunate Events. It's for youth.
It's a novel, not a non-fiction book. Yes.
Yes, novel. from
The one in
Shakespeare. Is it novel?
Shakespeare is a novel, yeah.
Yes, I read Macbeth.
Oh. That's a very tragic story.
Yes, because we are studying about British literature.
You're studying American literature? Or
American and British.
So you study Macbeth in your English studies?
Yes, for this semester.
I think that's a crazy idea because Shakespearean language is very old-fashioned and nobody uses it nowadays. I think you should be studying a modern novel.
Yeah, we learn British every era, since in the past to the present.
Yes, but my experience is that Thai people have a problem with basic communication, so they should learn basic English the way we use it nowadays. And if you try to study literature, I think it's going to be not very useful for everyday life. What do you think?
Pardon?
Do you think studying literature is going to be useful for everyday communication?
I think not much, but it's like for free time to like add more experience, but it's not useful for everyday communication.
I think it's probably the university who still have this idea that learning old English literature is in some way high status. And they maybe think that the students are attracted to the idea of reading high status literature. Do you think so? Do you understand? So when you are all in the classroom, there are a lot of students here today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. Why did you come in such a big group? Are you afraid? So my question was, why did you come in such a big group? Are you afraid of foreigners?
No. We are in the same group.
That's not really a good reason.
We are a bit afraid of foreigner,
Right.
but we can help each other.
So you think that with 11 of you, this is enough to feel confident if you have to talk with a stranger?
Yes.
So why do you feel afraid to talk with a foreigner, with a tourist?
Because Thai students worry about grammar.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
So you're worried that you're going to make a grammar mistake.
Yes.
But you understand that to improve your English, you have to make mistakes.
Yes.
You have to make a mistake, then think about correcting it, and then you improve. So don't you think it's good to make mistakes?
Yes, but we afraid that foreigner won't be understanding.
Won't understand you.
That I say.
I think you're worrying too much. You know, many of the foreigners here may not be native speakers anyway. They may be from Spain or France or Germany, and their English may not be much better than yours. So you should take the opportunity to talk when you can and try to correct your own mistakes. So what's your name?
My name is Jakachan.
Are you also in the second year?
Yes.
And what do you intend to do when you finish studying?
I want to be a teacher.
Teaching English, or?
Yes.
So you really need to improve your English to be an English teacher? Yes, I do.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Very nice to talk to you all. So I'm going to stop now and we can do your interview.